Boom boom, how's going? It is ITJ, Tara Jack, and if you have never been here before, and we are always on here talking about anything and everything around property. And I didn't just start off at this where I am right now, but I started off actually just like many people. I went to school and my mother and father said, you need to get good grades, and over and above that, you need to go and get a job. And I did get a job. So I was employed back in the days, and my wife was employed. But today's story, there's a story that I want to share with you guys. And this story actually emanates from my household. Yes, within my house. We are in the Christmas season, and I thought a lot of us, we are actually going to be meeting up a lot of families. And with that, how about we talk about family things? Yes, family things. You see, back in the days when I was employed, my wife and I were trying to figure out what else can we do to actually put more money on the table. What you see on here has always never been the same. I was employed just like you. My wife was also employed just like you. And with that, trying to figure out what we can do to put more bacon on the table, to visit Durban a little bit more, maybe to go to Cape Town, I don't know, to visit maybe overseas family and friends. That was the dream of how can we do that. So I went out and I started doing some businesses. I went into car rental. I went into chicken farming. Oh, I almost lost everything there. You might be asking yourself, why am I talking about this? It is because the story that I'm about to tell you is I've never shared that with anyone else. You see what happened, which was in the month of October a couple of years ago, I think round about for plus minus 4 years. What transpired was that my wife and I invited my wife to a training session. I thought it was a training session, but it was actually a seminar. And I didn't know that in these type of sessions, what they would do is they will entice you about something, and you have to pay at the end of the day to get to the real information. So I didn't know that, my wife didn't know that. And I had found something else that was pretty exciting. I was in business at that time on the chicken business. And boom, we saw this other, the training, the seminar around property. And we attended that, and we were intrigued. We were inspired. The stories was moving. It was really heart moving to see some of the guys on the successes that they were. I wanted that, but I didn't have the money. My wife also wanted that, but both of us, we didn't have the money. We had no spare money for us to be able to go in and pay down whatever the deposits that were needed. If I fast forward to how much we have actually paid for our training programs up to date, from that time, we have spent a couple of 100,000. I remember that program alone, we paid just plus minus 100,000 with it. And this was a couple of years ago. Why am I sharing this with you? I am just telling you, I'm sharing all of this with you so that you know that for you to be earning more money, you need to be learning. And education doesn't really come for free. You have to pay for it. But fast forward, I now have a business. And within this business, it is in 4 cities. It is in Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, Pretoria. What are we doing? Not only did we learn from the best, the likes of Robert Kiyosaki's, and the likes of many other legends that have been doing property long before me. You see, when I started off, I was in debt at the time, and that is the reason why I actually wrote this book on here. And this book here is the book that is called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. Why did I write this book? You see, when I went into property, I was down and out. The chicken business was sucking my wife and I dry. But what really literally happened is that I needed to find ways to win. And yes, I did. And with that, we now have this business that is called M5 Property Addicts. And within this M5 Property Addicts, what is the rah-rah all about? Well, it is a business that is thriving. We now have buildings that we own with over 200 tenants that we provide housing for. If my wife had not paid for me, that would have not happened. It would have been another story for someone else. You see, my wife paid for me and she didn't have the money. She had the bond money at that time, and she put a deposit of the bond money, and we went out to actually look for the additional, the difference. But had my wife not taken through the action of paying that particular date, I don't think that this book here that you see would have not been here. Why did I write this book? I wrote this book because the lessons that I got from failing in business and eventually succeeding in particular one business. I read somewhere else where he says you do not succeed with being at the top, or should I say you do not learn, you do not have learnings or teachings whilst you are at the top. It is only when you are at the bottom that's when you learn. And for me that is true, because when I was down and out, and by the way, I am not saying this because I am rich. I am not saying this because I think that I have money. I am just a little bit better from where I was last year. In the previous year, in terms of my thinking, in terms of my action, in terms of the results that my team and I are producing. So had my wife, had she not paid for me or for us at that particular time, the business that you see would have not been there. This here conversation would have not been here. The book that I'm talking about, for some of you have already read this book, it would have never been here. So as it is Christmas, it is our ambition at M5 Successful Friends, at M5 Property Addicts, at M5 Property Varsity to give you a present. What is that present? We have prepared a present for you so that you can literally either buy a present for you. Yes, I do mean it. Sometimes you need to treat yourself because nobody else will if you don't. Or you can pay, or should I say not pay, but you can actually buy a present for someone else. It can be a loved one, it can be a husband, just like my wife paid for me. Maybe it could be a husband buying it for a wife, or who knows, whoever you are, you could be buying it for your child. So here is the present. You are going to get 60-day full access. I do mean it when I say full access. What's in within the Varsity anyway? For some of you, you have never done property at all, so you don't know where to start from. There is a course that is called Property Fundamentals. That course literally takes you from nothing, nothing. Like you were thinking that you are buying a property in an estate and it's a development, you thinking you're buying a good deal. Now, that course is going to give you more better deals. But nonetheless, that is for fundamentals, for people that have never done. Or maybe you want to revise, am I still doing it the right way? And that course is for you. There's another course that is called student accommodation. At this moment, student accommodation, it is a challenge within our country. How about you can jump in with the right knowledge? We are housing just above 350 students for student accommodation. We definitely know how to do it, because if we can manage this magnitude of students and document it, you definitely want to learn from them. Now, you might be saying to me, you know what, TJ, I am one of those people, I actually don't have money. I was like you. You are going to get this book. You're going to see how I wiggled it out, right? How I managed to actually buy properties with no money at all. Over and above that, there is a course in the Varsity, over and above the fundamental, over and above the student accommodation, that is called private money. And with private money, you can literally jump in there within the 60 days when you've got the free 60-day free access of it. You will jump into it and you will learn how to find the money outside all the other red tapes of the banks and all of those things. And over and above that, there's other courses that I also haven't mentioned that are called, for instance, seller finance. How can you buy a property utilizing the seller to be the bank? It is possible. I've done a couple of deals like that. You can do it, right? There's other courses that are called back-to-back. How about making money by just joining in a seller and a buyer at the same time, and you make a little bit of dough? If you don't know how to do it, you just don't have the right information. And today, you can click on the link below. There is a promo that says M5 Property Varsity Christmas promotion. You need to get this. I mean, the value of the courses within the Varsity sits at just up above 60,000. And you are going to get that as a Christmas present from us to you at a value of 1,500. Yes, at 1,500. Not only do you get the Varsity 60-day access, you also get the book delivered to your doorstep. Hey, it's been great hanging out with you. If you're not going to be buying this for yourself, I don't know what you are looking for in property. My goal is that I didn't come from a rich family, but I want to leave a rich family behind. And if that is your goal, you need to take this action here, because it is not going to be lasting. This promotion is for only this Christmas season. If you don't have money, hey, you need to go and borrow some money from Auntie Susan, from Uncle Ben, whoever it is. You need to make sure that you don't miss on this promotion. It is a promotion that is going to change your course. If the course that I attended changed the course, managed to put housing for other people, managed to put cash flow in my pocket, managed to create assets now that are now going to be generational for me and my partners, how about you? I think you can do it if I can. My name is TJ. We'll check you out in the Varsity. Cheers.